Hi, I'm Allison from Move Smart Movement, and this is a fantastic little happy hip sequence that starts from your feet and works its way up. Begin with yoga tune-up balls or a spiky ball or any other tennis ball, dollar store ball, whatever you have, and start by just stepping down onto the ball. You're squooshing, this is a very technical term, squooshing into your foot, and you want to cover your whole entire foot. All the blind spots that you don't normally pay any attention to, the outside of the arch of your foot, around your heel, into the spaces between your toes and the ball of your foot. And then start to roll. And of course, if you have balance stuff, you're welcome to have your hand on the wall or on a chair. And same thing, you're just gonna roll the whole surface of your foot. We're not going for any particular pattern today. We're just stimulating the muscles, stimulating your nervous system, getting that sense of balance, and really working into all the little bits and pieces of your foot. It makes it much easier. It takes pressure off your knees and your hips if your feet are nice and pliable. So this is really helpful. And then you can put that ball aside. If you're using a set, you want to break them down evenly in their pair so that they are evenly squished. And you do the same thing on the other foot. Just step down, step down, step down. Cover your whole entire foot. So if you were think of the ball as a bingo dabber or something that's got paint on it. By the time you're done, you want to have put paint on the whole entire surface of your foot. Squish, squish, squish. And of course, you're putting only as much or as little pressure as feels good to you, depending on, how much sensitivity you have in your feet. And then go for a nice roll. Cover all the length of your foot, the width of your foot. You can go sideways, long ways, diagonal, doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're rolling across, again, all the spots you wouldn't normally get into. And then we're going to move into your calf. So come on down onto the floor. You'll still need your yoga tune-up balls or whatever other ball you're using. And you roll your calf. And you're going to go along the outside of your calf here. Same thing in terms of pressure. Use as much or as little pressure as feels good to you. It shouldn't make your eyeballs bulge out. And you want to go right from your knee, the side of your knee, down along your calf. You can go up and down. You can go sideways. Do a few different shapes so that you're stimulating the muscles and the fascia and the skin and your nerves in different patterns. And then from there, you work your way down right to your ankle bone and you make a little circle around your ankle bone. Because there's lots of little muscles that attach in and around the sides of your ankles. So you make these nice little circles around the sticky outy part of your ankle bone and then work your way back up. And if you want more pressure, you can use both hands. If you want less pressure, you just use one hand. Again, you are your own sensation gatekeeper here. And then you shift over and you do the same thing on the other side. Start just beside your knee and work your way down. As usual, not uncommon for one side to be more sensitive than the other, and that's totally okay. And work your way up and down a couple of times. Go in a couple of different movement patterns, up and down, side to side. When you've come back down again, find your ankle bone and do a little gentle circle around your ankle bone. So here's your ankle bone. You want to go below, behind, above, and in front. You don't want to generate any unpleasant nerve type sensations, nothing buzzy or tingly. And then work your way back up. And then you can put the balls aside. Find a chair or a table or a counter or something that you can use to support your weight. Bring your legs back. You want to be long and strong through your hands, your elbows and your shoulders. You're using your abdominal muscles to hold you up from below like a tray. And you want to really think about getting your butt untucked. So your sit bones are pointing at the wall behind you. Your lower back is gently draping down. There's no cranking into your lower back to pull your sit bones up. If you find that your tailbone curling, you're tucking like this, then you want to bring your legs back further. And you might even need to let your heels come off the floor rather than keeping your feet in close and curling your back. So find that untucked hinge position and start by just sliding your hips back and forward and back and forward. We're going to do 10 of these. There's 5. You may find that your range increases a little bit as you go. That's all good. Long through the back of your neck. Couple more. And on this last one, press your hips back and just stay. And we're going to hold here for, a little bit of time, not too long. Think about spreading your toes wide, keeping your weight evenly spread between the inside and outside edge of the ball of your foot and the center of your heel. And this is another opportunity to just make sure that your sit bones are pointing at the wall behind you, that your butt is untucked, that your ribs are lifted, you're not collapsing. And then from there, just walk your feet out wider. So I'm using a mat. I'm thinking mat distance apart. If you're not using a mat, you could think, a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. And we're going to do a little mini side shift. You don't need to go far. The goal is not to move so far that you take your hip past your foot. You want to go in a small enough shift that you're just lining your sit bone up over your heel, and the goal is to feel a little bit more work and a little bit more stretch on the side towards which you have shifted. And you come to center, and you go the other way. Right sit bone lines up over left heel, not past left heel, and come to center. Each time you shift, you hold for, a breath, just long enough to really feel that there's that little bit of extra work and stretch. And again to the other side. And again to the other side. And again to the other side. And then come on back to center. Bend your knees, come on up, nice long spine, a little bit of a squat kind of issue there. And then from there, we're going to do 2 different stretches for the fronts of your legs. You absolutely can have something to hang on to here for this one. The first, you have your foot on the chair or the whatever you're using. If it's a counter, it's going to be too high. This really does need to be a chair. Your goal is to take your knee back behind your other leg and feel the stretch along the length of the front of your thigh. So really anywhere between your hip and your knee is good. We're looking for more of like a 4, 5 out of 10 rather than an 8, 9 out of 10. Nice and strong through your standing leg, a little bit of core action so that you don't feel like you're putting any pressure onto your lower back, mid back, or your SI joints. And we hold, and we think happy thoughts. And we think about happy hips, which is always nice. And then we'll do that same version on the other side. So bring that leg down, bring the second leg up. Range, again, often different from one side to the other, keeping a nice sense of length through the front of your abdominal wall so that you're not flopping. Strong through your standing leg. See if you can get both hip bones pointing at the wall in front of you so that you're not rotating, which will decrease the stretch. You won't get as much out of it. You're welcome to bend the standing leg if that makes you feel a bit more stable. And we hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to change it up a little bit. You're going to really add some intentional core contraction. We're going to curl your pubic bones forward. And this time the goal is to have your leg pretty much level with the other thigh. And you're really getting a big tailbone curl forward. And the goal now is to feel it much more in the front of your hip rather than spread out through the length of your leg, although you may still feel it spread through the length of your leg. Still lots of work in the standing leg. Get to work on your balance a little bit here. Of course, you can hang on to a wall if that's better for you. And you're really deliberately reaching your knee down towards the floor. We want this nice long open line here through your thigh and then the big low ab contraction. This is a place where you are tucking your butt, right? You are pulling your pubic bones forward and your tailbone under to emphasize this real front of the hip stretch. And then you change over and you do the same thing on the other side. Rest your foot, get your legs level, your thigh bones pretty level with each other, and then big tailbone curl. And you want to actually feel your stomach muscles working. And you do, in fact, want to keep feeling this little bit of ab work through the whole stretch. Because as soon as you lose that, you'll be inclined to lose the stretch too. So nice little scoopity scoop scoop here. Another couple of breaths. And last one. Big breath in, or, moderate breath in, whatever feels good to you. Let it go. Bring that leg down. And then save this and pull it out and use it every day and see how it feels. Hopefully, it makes your whole body feel better. It makes your gait easier and more stable, and it makes your feet feel good. So give it a try.